Okay, hello everybody. Let's do another question, another problem from Leetcode. I will be going over the easy ones for now, as I get more comfortable with the problem structure and the whole concept of doing those problems. We will go over to more difficult ones. I have already passed some medium hard ones. Yeah, some of them I think are pretty tricky and they're not really suitable for a short format type of video that I'm doing, at least with my current skills. So let's go over to the easy ones, and I think there will be plenty of interesting cases to go over for now. By the way, I also changed the microphones, so I think you will be able to hear me much more clearly now. And yeah, I think even the screen recording stuff is should be pretty good now. Also, things like opening Paint wouldn't really would still be visible. So I'm sorry for the previous video. There were some issues on that. Anyway, let's go over a question and see how it goes. So, question number 1925. Find numbers with even number of digits. So as somebody who's not a native English speaker, even and odd numbers, right? Evens are the ones like two numbers are even. The number 2 is even, basically. Okay. Okay. Given an array nums of integers, this would be nums, right? This would be a list of integers. Return how many of them contain an even number of digits. The integer containing a number of digits, right? So we'll have, let's see, let's open Paint. I think this will be our best tool for describing our thought process conceptually. I think it's pretty funny, so I'll just keep it for now and let me know if you have better ideas. So how many of them contain an even number of digits? So if we have a number, for example, this is our number, it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 digits. This is even. If we have something like this would be 1, 2, 3 digits, so this is odd. So we would need to have a way to actually get the number of digits for each of the different integers or nums in this array, and then we'll have to have, so this is the first one. The second approach would be to get a call or a function. In this case it would be very easy, just a call to see if the number of those digits is odd or even, and then we'll have to have a third approach that will just increment, yeah, some things, some of those. Let's see, given an array of integers, return how many of them contain. So basically for each of those digits that for each of those numbers that contain an even number of digits, we'll have to increment. So this would be actually an incrementing operation. Let's make it this way. Okay, so having an array of nums for a num in nums, right? Let's see if we can get the len of if we can cast, just like last time, we can cast this integer to a string, and then we can get the length of the string. I think this would work like this. Let's quickly do the same thing as before. Just quickly open a online Python interpreter. I know you can do stuff like this here, but it's kind of tedious. I would prefer not to have test runs every time. So let's have a digit. All right, we're getting a string out of a. Okay, of course you would want to print this. In this case, this interpreter is not that clever and doesn't really show us the output like this. Anyway, yes, if we had only 2 digits in this number, would get 2, right? And if we basically have, so while you are in testing mode, basically now we're testing our approach, right? You can even kind of like extend your testing. So let's do a modulo operation, and I'm hoping you are familiar with modulo operations. It will give us the remainder. So if we do a modulo 2, you would always get a 0 for even number of digits, and for odd number of digits you would always get a 1. So running this should give us a 0. If we compare it to 0, right, it would give us true. Actually, let's see how can we do this in a Pythonic way, because basically we can have an if statement, right? And this is the, well, let's do the naive approach first. Why not? Would have a counter equals 0. If we have, if our string representation of num has a length that is associated with an even length, then we would counter +1. Was that possible in Python? I'm not sure if ++ worked. I think there was some issue with that, so let's just do this. And of course, in the end, you can just return counter, right? I'm sorry, I'm a bit, I do have some hangover today, so usually I would try and have the Pythonic approach directly. But I think this is actually more helpful for people that are not used to thinking in a Pythonic way. So this would be actually the way you could start programming in Python, and then you just gradually switch over to the more Pythonic ways, which we will explore. We will explore pretty soon, I hope. Let's see how this goes. Not sure. Do we have constraints? Okay, so the constraint says that the length of nums. So we will always have an array of maximum, minimum 1 element. So we don't really have to handle empty arrays and stuff like that. And the maximum length would be 500 elements. And they also have a 2 bounds, like a lower bound for the values for those integers. So we wouldn't really have to worry about overflows as well. That is pretty good, I guess, in this case. Yeah, I think our code is actually running pretty well. I mean, it's super easy in this case, right? Let's try and make it Pythonic. So what I would do, I would basically write an alternative way now. What can we do for sum? Yes, counter equals is there a Python sum? And not even that. Let's do a we'll have an array, and this array will only get num from now in. So num for num in nums, and for each num in nums would also paste this num into this new array only if num modulo 2 equals 0. So what we are getting here is nums So basically for each num in nums, we are pasting this num in this new array only if this value or num is also a even. Oh well, actually I have to have this string representation of num, of course, and then let's also get the length. So if we have the length of this num being even, we'll paste the num here, right? And then we can also just do something like this. So we'll start with an empty counter, and we would get the length of the counter in the end, which would basically tell us how many numbers were there that that had this. It's basically more or less even closer to how this sentence is structured, right? Given an array of nums, return how many of them. So we return basically all of them that contain this criteria, and then how many is only directly satisfied by the by the operation of len. I don't think I'm missing anything. Let's run it for now, and I think we can even improve it further. Let's see. I definitely did something wrong. I guess I shouldn't even start with an empty array. Why would I? I don't think that was the issue, or maybe it was. No. Invalid syntax. I'm assuming. Let's see. Did I have to? Yeah, I think. So there are different ways to write this. What's it called? List comprehensions. So if you only have a single if statement and no else, you had to put it on after this part, which is kind of. I mean, there are probably some reasons why it reads better, but anyway. So num for num in nums if len blah blah blah, and I still didn't get it. Now the embarrassing part of this video comes, and I think that was the reason why I thought it would be funny to do these videos. Let's see how I will handle this. Let's quickly check complication single if. Let's do the Stack Overflow thing here, right? In general, this if condition else this, and if there is only an if, so this for this in this if condition. So this for this in this if condition, and I'm assuming there's something wrong with this here, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't see any problem with converting a string and then converting the num to string and then getting the length. I guess that's why, right? This is a function. Well, pretty dumb mistake, but anyway, we actually fixed the other issue here with the syntax, so it's nice. So the issue was basically I kind of spaced out because I saw the brackets. I was like, okay, we have the brackets, but you actually need to put the function brackets, not the square brackets are just the ones that indicate that that you are getting an array back. Part of the list comprehensions syntax. So basically, if we already have everything in a single place, we don't really need this variable. We can paste it like this, and you get another good-looking Python one-liner, right? That's why Python is so cool. So we have this test case. Maybe we can do another test case as well. Let's have 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, we should be getting 1, 2, 3 of them, right? Let's see. I mean, there is no reason not to, but a bit more testing before you commit your work, before you put your project into production or live is always good. Never skip on like testing and kind of like iterating over your work before you actually decide it's done. So let's submit this one. Given that it's an easy question, there was no hidden way of getting things wrong when it comes to edge cases. So yeah, we passed this one, and I think I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you liked it, and let's get back to another Leetcode problem in a couple of days. See ya, guys.